We're back with some more John LFG, and today we're going to be taking on Solo Flawless Prophecy at Guardian Rank 2. If you don't know who John LFG is, he is the most powerful Guardian Rank 2 in the entire world.
What the fuck?
Being Guardian Rank 2 comes with a bunch of handicaps that a lot of people aren't aware of, the biggest one being having absolutely zero access to any armor mods. That means we have terrible stats, no ammo mods, and no surge mods for extra damage. And this significantly restricts our build crafting when brought in tandem with some of the other things about Guardian Rank 2. So let's get into the dungeon and hopefully get that sweet ghost shell. Starting off is really simple. We just go up this hole and that lets us skip the little intro encounter and we can get straight into the first encounter. Phalanx Echo has very little health and I'm playing on Titan, which means I don't actually need a DPS weapon and I can just use my very broken abilities. So I just tossed on Lost Signal as a support weapon with Weaken for the seasonal relic, and an Eager Edge Sword to go faster and also to be ready for the next encounter, and then I just ran Risk Runner for some damage resistance because healing is a little bit of an issue on Prismatic at Guardian Rank 2. I actually only have 2 recovery.
Look at this dude.
Because I have all my stats focused on resilience, and since I have a very limited amount of stats since I cannot masterwork or add mods to my armor, I have not prioritized recovery because of all the healing verbs in the game. But unfortunately this kind of came back to bite in this one situation where recovery actually probably would have been pretty useful. But it was fine here and we'll just have to deal with it later if it becomes a problem. Back to this encounter, if you guys didn't know, there's actually a trick you can use to pretty much double the speed that you complete the mechanics at. All you have to do is jump onto the lower one of the color that you're doing after you have a full moat. And then from there what you'll want to do is jump up really high between the 2 of that color and you'll actually pop both of them with the 1 moat, just like I did in the footage here. And now just to do that one more time. And finally we get to damage, and Titan damage, as always. Yeah, well that was easy. The second encounter is just a transition, so I just put on the objectively best shotgun in the game and got to shooting those blights down. While I'm doing that, I thought I'd go ahead and talk to you guys a little bit about John LFG behind the scenes. After seeing success with John LFG, I started experimenting with various different ways of playing with him. But this will be my first time trying to do anything solo on the channel with John LFG. So I'd love to know what you guys think about this video style down in the comments below, and let me know if you want to see me do more solo flawless dungeons as John LFG in the future. But that's enough of that, we're on to the second encounter now, and we use a pretty interesting loadout that's very specialized towards it for this one. Since there isn't a DPS check here, and the healing on Prismatic at Guardian Rank 2 is kind of questionable, pretty much entirely relying on my melees, we go with good old Strand Titan and Banner of War. It's an excellent way to stay alive, and since we don't really need the crazy damage from consecrations for this encounter, it ends up being the best choice here. I basically do a very specific process on every single floor that pretty much doesn't change at all, and my health never went below half for pretty much the entire thing. The setup was to do a melee on one of the acolytes nearby at the start, throw the tangle it makes on the ground, killing the rest of the guys around me, granting me Woven Mail, and also giving me Banner of War for the melee kill. And then I use Risk Runner to take out the other crowd of acolytes since they're all shooting me with arc damage. And from there I can just get to where I need to be and then snipe out all of the hobgoblins and knights and then go dunk the moat and move on to the next floor. So we just repeat that like a bajillion times because this room has a bajillion floors. And now we're on to the second and last transition of the dungeon. So I rode my way towards the tunnel and I popped out onto the other side of the Rainbow Road, where I did Titan things. While I'm swinging my sword like 1,000 times, I wanted to talk to you guys about something I just added onto the channel, and that is memberships. After hitting 5,000 subs, by the way, thanks for all the support everybody, I went ahead and activated them. If you don't know what memberships are, basically they're an optional monthly subscription you can sign up for on a channel, and it comes with some kind of benefits specific to the channel. In my case, I just put some fun emojis you can use in the comments section, and I might post some exclusive shorts that normally just wouldn't make it into full videos for members. However, I am keeping it pretty minimal just because I want the channel to remain accessible to everybody. But if you have $3 and you don't want to have $3 anymore, feel free to spend it on that. All you have to do is hit the join button next to the subscribe button or click the link in the description that I'll have. But that's enough of that, and now we're here. The final and most challenging part of Prophecy. We do need to play Prismatic in order to have good damage, but this led to some survivability problems until I added Precious Scars to the build. All I had to do was use Precious Scars while up top, and then switch back over to my class item while falling through the elevator. And now, let's get into the run. I decided to take the mobile approach of Anarchy, Lost Signal, and Thunder Crash for damage, and maybe a Consecration here and there if I can. Basically, it's kind of dangerous, and I have absolutely no healing during damage, so I played it pretty safe.
But not for me.
And that's how I beat Prophecy solo flawless at Guardian rank 2. Now let's go grab that ghost shell. Oh, you gotta be fucking